G'day, I wanted to talk about scraping today. Now, scraping, I think to some extent, or a large extent, I'm not sure, has a bit of a bad rap. It is considered to be the technique used by those who can't turn very well, and all the masters would do nothing but cut with their tools. And I want to dispel some of these myths. And I want to talk about scraping, the pros, the cons, what tools to use, when to use them, when not to use them, all that sort of thing, the dangers in them, all that sort of thing. So I think the best way to start would be to define what is scraping, and it really is quite simple, because scraping is simply when the bevel is not rubbing, and that's it. So if you've got a tool, no matter what the tool, and your bevel is rubbing and then the cutting edge comes into action, you're cutting. If you've got a tool and all you're doing is, all you have got in contact with the wood is the cutting edge itself, so no bevel rubbing, then you are scraping. It means that if you've got a round nose scraper like this, you could be cutting with it and of course scraping with it. Just because it's called a scraper doesn't mean that you can't actually cut with it. It means that a skew chisel, which is designed to cut, can scrape. It means that a roughing gouge or even a bowl gouge that is designed to cut will still scrape if the bevel is not rubbing, and it really is as simple as that. So let's get this roughing gouge, for instance. This is the standard way of using I'll just drop that tool rest a bit. This is the way we tend to use a roughing gouge, or some people go on the side like this. I'm going to put some revs into this, even more revs. Now, there's my bevel. I am cutting around this area here, so this is the section of the bevel that's adjacent to my cutting area. That's what I'm going to use. Now, bevel rubbing, there's the bevel rubbing, lift the handle up, brings the cutting edge into action, and there we go, I'm cutting. But if I keep on lifting that handle up, I'm scraping. So there's a scrape there. Drop the handle, get the bevel rubbing. So I'll get rid of all that dust. Drop the handle, get the bevel rubbing, lift the handle back up until it just starts to cut. Bevel is still rubbing, and there I am, I'm cutting. Now here's a scraper. Remember I said that we could even cut with a scraper? Well, I've just got to get the bevel rubbing. So there's a there's the scraper with no bevel rubbing, and here's a scraper with the bevel rubbing. Now, if we have a look at the difference between a cut and a scrape off the same tool, in this piece of pine there's slight differences there. You can see there's a little bit more tear out there than there is on this section of the wood there. Here's a good example. No tear out, quite shiny in fact, tear out there in the timber. And that seems to be what a lot of people think about scrapers. That is, that scrapers don't give you nearly as good a cut off the tool as a cutting tool. Now, that's a good theory, principle to take away initially in your beginning stages, but after a while, after a bit of experience, you will realise, if you give it the chance, that scraping can be a friend of yours, and it can produce a better cut off the tool than cutting. Now, another disadvantage of scraping is that you really do need to make sure that the tool rest is as close to the wood as possible, and the reason for that is this, that scraping is a very aggressive way of taking wood off, and the way I demonstrate that in a lot of classes is I actually get somebody to turn the wheel of the lathe, to turn the spindle whilst I'm scraping, and then to turn it while I'm cutting. Now, to do that, I might just go back to that roughing gouge. Here it is scraping, and you can hear what's going on. You can see the fibres being torn out of the wood, and it is quite an effort to spin the wheel of the lathe. But as soon as I go to cutting, it becomes a lot easier, and the cut becomes a lot better as well. See that? Now you can tell the difference between that cut there and this scrape there. But as far as the wheel goes, as far as turning this wheel goes, it's a lot easier when I'm cutting than when I'm scraping. That is a harder action than that. And this on an angle, when I cut on an angle like this, is almost effortless. So it hardly takes any force on the wheel, or pressure or muscle power on the wheel to actually turn that wheel. And that's a really good demonstration to illustrate the difference, the fundamental difference between cutting and scraping. And so what I boil that down to is that scraping puts a lot more force on everything involved in wood turning. So what I mean by everything involved is the operator is got to hold onto the tool stronger when they're scraping, because there's a tendency for the tool to be pushed, or the tip of the tool to be pushed down, the handle to fly up. There's force on whatever's holding the wood in the lathe. In this case, it's clamped between two centres, and it's putting force on the motor as well. So scraping puts a lot of force on everything involved. Therefore, to overcome that force, make sure your tool rest is nice and close to the piece of wood. Now, as we turn and as we take more and more wood off, we're obviously getting further and further away. The tool, or there's a bigger and bigger gap between the tool rest and the piece of wood. So if this were the case, if I could, I would always be wanting to get nice and close. I'll turn over here. This hasn't been rounded over yet, but I can use a scraper to round over. But what I'm not doing is going really hard at it like that. Now this timber is soft, it's Pinus radiata, so it's quite soft. But the smaller this piece of wood gets, effectively the further the tool rest gets away from the wood, so I need to get closer. Close all the time. So that's one of the, I suppose, disadvantages of scraping. Well, there's two there really. Number one, it puts a lot of force on everything involved. The operator, the clamping system and the motor. And you need to therefore keep the tool rest nice and close to our tool rest, to our wood I should say. Now one of the pros, one of the benefits of scraping is I reckon it's so much easier to handle. It's so much easier to learn. It's for a beginner, picking up a scraper, a round nose scraping, putting it on a piece of wood like this is so much easier. And I do know this for a fact because I've taught so many students and I've seen them with a scraper in their hands and off they go and they're scraping. Now for a beginner to do that cove there, with a spindle gouge is a much more difficult thing to master. You've got to have the cutting in the right spot, you've got to have the bevel at the right angle, you've got to change the angle of the tool quite a lot as you're going down. You've got to come down from both sides and meet in the middle. You've got to be careful of having a catch by catching that wing on that edge there like that, bang, having a catch. If I wanted to round something over, I could quite easily get a straight scraper like this and I could round that over like that. So easy to do. In fact, I tend to, if I'm doing beads, I more often than not will grab a scraper and roll the beads with the scraper. So much easier to master that than if I was to try and get a skew chisel and try and roll a bead, here we go, with a skew chisel. Now, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at rolling beads with skew chisels, and that's why, and I suppose one of the reasons is because I just don't do it a lot. I haven't practiced it a lot. I don't need to practice them a lot, and therefore I'm just not very good at them. But if I want to, I can get away with it. I can get away with making a bead or a ball by using my skew chisel as a scraper. In fact, my skew chisels get used an awful lot as scrapers. And that's where the whole concept of negative rake scraper came from, is using skew chisels to finish off the outside and the inside of bowls. Now that brings me to the whole concept of, just turn that off, the whole concept of negative rake scrapers. And almost all my scrapers, I struggle to find a normal scraper in my workshop. All mine have been negative raked, like this one here. Now the idea of negative rake can be demonstrated with a traditional scraper, because all it is presenting that cutting edge itself at a negative angle, at an angle downwards like that. So that's the negative rake part of it there. So if you want to use a traditional scraper as a negative rake, there it is. And one of the excellent things about negative rake is it's a far gentler way of scraping. So remember that idea of rotating the lathe, the spindle, with your hand. That is a lot easier to do than if I drop that and just start traditional scraping like that. So negative rake scrapers are fantastic. They're excellent for cleaning up the inside of bowls, and they're far less grabby on the inside of bowls in particular, and so that's a fantastic time to pull out your negative rake scraper. Now I'm going to get rid of this piece of wood and throw another piece on. So here's another piece of pine. The reason I wouldn't encourage turning a spindle like this with a scraper is because it is more aggressive and it can pull big chips out. So if you are going to use a scraper to rough down a spindle, just go very slowly. So not hard at it like that. Just take it easy like this. Now, another danger of the scraper, and this is really important, so if you haven't tuned in properly yet, now's the time. Because scrapers are really aggressive, they're the most aggressive way of taking the wood off. The trick to coping with that is to take small cuts. Now when I say a small cut, I mean nothing more than about 1/4 of an inch. Yep, that's right, 1/4 of an inch. If you go bigger than 1/4 of an inch, you are getting closer and closer to the point where you'll get a catch. I'll show you why. There is 1/4 of an inch being cut, and what I'm doing here is I'm doing a cove, but that cove, the shape of that cove is a lot wider, as you can see, than the width of the scraper itself. So at any time, as I'm going backwards and forwards like this, I'm only ever cutting over about 1/4 of an inch, right down the very tip of that curve. But if I do this, hear what's happening? Can you hear that vibration? Well, that vibration is the wood talking to me, and it's saying, stop it. You're being too rough. You're being way too aggressive. And the reason being is because I am, as you can see here, I'm cutting over that whole distance there. Now, if I was supporting this piece of wood, and I'll just do this quickly now. Now here's a scenario, same piece of timber, but we have got no support up this end here. So if we start scraping this here, because it is a really aggressive way of taking wood off, there's a good chance, a fantastic chance that that's what will happen, right? That happened a lot better than I thought. So when we come to do any work with a scraper, make sure that, and look, sorry, I'm just distracted by these beautiful shavings. Look at that. Now this is claret ash, so a different timber. Now look at the finish that we're getting off the tool there. I knew it was going to be good even before I saw it. It is a beautiful finish, and I am going to be able to achieve a cove, a nice clean cove in there like that a lot easier than I would with a spindle gouge trying to achieve that. Now the point I was about to make is, or was trying to make, is that whenever you come to do a cove, for instance, with a round nose scraper like this, make sure that the width of your scraper is a lot narrower than the width of the cove. Now if I actually want to do a cove hear that? And look at the difference in the cut, the shavings that we're getting. Let's have a look at the cut that we got there. I'll be interested to see that. Still pretty good. Look at that. But you could hear the wood starting to kick up a fuss. Okay, now if we want to actually do a cove that size, then we need to go for a narrower scraper. And here's my narrower scraper. And work down the hill to the bottom of the cove, down the hill to the bottom of the cove like that, and try and blend that in. Round nose scrapers are typically for concave shapes. Straight scrapers are for convex shapes. So if I wanted to do a ball, a sphere, a bead, I could do that with a skew chisel. I could do that with my skew chisel, and then I can round over with my skew chisel like this. So straight edges for convex, curved or round nose scrapers for concave shapes. Now if that was translated to a bowl, it's exactly the same thing. So we'll get a bowl blank on here and we'll have a look at scrapers on a bowl blank.